What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. White woman says the African American is predestined to leave America or not stay in America. Now, man, she went down a rabbit hole. I ain't even know. Listen, when worship, study, admire, jealous, all of that. Like, I don't sit around thinking about none of this shit when it comes to white folk, Asian. I don't like. I just think about. I just talk about the relationship we have with these people because they're forcing it upon us or discrimination. But this level of like these guys are getting spiritual with their admiration and love and obsession with us. It's dangerous. But I'm gonna let her talk. She gonna say a bunch of stuff. I mean, look, there's a lot of pseudo information flying around. A lot of people like to mix their biblical stuff. A lot of people take what's happening, what they notice happening, and then they look or look for a story in the Bible or in some sort of spiritual system or structure or Hebrew structure, or they get some Abrahamic something. They be like, look, that matches up. So that means this validates this thing. Listen, there's no group of human beings who are more precious to what we consider God, which is nothing but a field of love and energy, which we are fractals of, having experience down here, right? But no one in the real world, no one is better or more divine than any other. We all are God's fractals. We all are gods. We're all one. Every single human being here, every tree, every animal, every organic piece of material, it's all one. Everybody having collective experiences at the same time with the individual personalities, but connected to one, right? But and that's real, but the way some people like Abrahamitize it is just like, all right, man. As soon as I hear it, I'm like, okay. But I thought what she said was interesting. It seemed like she's coming from a good place, right? She seems she's coming from a, level place. So let's listen to what she got to say. At least it will be entertaining. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Do you know many African Americans are not actually predestined to stay in America, and nor are their children, their grandchildren, or their great-grandchildren? Let me explain. So, as you know, I do colonizer free astrology, and I have used our traditions to basically help people understand that now we're in the collapsing of colonialism, right? And what you're seeing is a destruction of empire, and it starts with the American empire, but it's a domino effect. So once they go, all the other fuckeries who hide behind them to act like America's a big bad to hide their own sins, it literally right? And again, I have shared many predictions which you've all watched come true in freakish timing about what that destruction looks like. And recently I was thinking a lot about, isn't it crazy, within our lifetime we're going to go through a very similar astrological transit of what happened when Christopher Columbus rocked up to Puerto Rico and essentially began this fucking nearly 600 years of transatlantic hell slave trade, right? And I don't think that's a coincidence. We go back to the start where it began, right? And then I've been thinking about it a little bit deeper. Like, I read for thousands of people every year, right? And recently I worked out in the 6 months alone, out of about 1,000 African Americans who've come for reading, something like 654, 55 had it written in their charts that they were never going to stay in America. And this made me think a little bit deeper. So go and grab a cup of chai, get comfortable. Let's have a candid cosmic chit chat about, the future of African Americans. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind is our astrology is so different to whatever you're spoon-fed through Starbucks spirituality and the conquistas, right? Our astrology is a religious practice. We have very different rituals, schools of approaches. Everything is a reflection of karmas. Like, there's 20 different birth charts. They look at all different aspects of your life, right? In each of them, you carry ancestral karmas that explain why you go through what you do. It explains your past life karmas. Like, everything is cause and effect. There's nothing that happens in this lifetime that cannot be explained as to why it happened, right? And I say all of that because look at it like this. The collapsing of the American empire is going to force all those fucking people to acknowledge they have only ever enjoyed that culture for as long as the native and indigenous people were being genocided and exploited, and the labor and the expressions and all the culture of African Americans. And also, you should look at it like this. Why would you be destined to stay in the same cultures and lands that have done nothing but terrorize you? That's not, in fact, 2026, we have this understanding in our traditions that the ancestors are actually with us day and night, and essentially their unfinished business becomes ours officially. We're the new ancestors. It talks a lot about they're going to be working through us. They're going to be reconnecting us to the cultures and knowledge that were pretty much severed from us. And also from 2025 until 2028, there's something known as a karmic prison in our traditions. So this astrological transit talks about there are two groups basically, right? Collective A are a bunch of dumbasses, and they are not only so fueled by ignorance and illusion, they make a series of like really foolhardy choices that not only like symbolically and quite literally imprison themselves, but they're the reason 7 generations ahead are fucked. And also, this is something that you'll find is a prophecy that's come before. So a lot of the people who were victims of empire, their spiritual practitioners warned them before the enslavers came, before the fucking empires came, not to do business with them, not to deal with them, etc., or this would be the ramifications. So again, swings and roundabouts. And then there's collective B. Now collective B, I don't know if they're really conscious of it or if it's this thing of like deity, spirits and ancestors working through their descendants. But long story short, they get inspired, they experiment, and in so many ways, they end up creating the post-colonial world. And also, there's a lot of like immigration during these decades. But the thing is, it's very like tactical immigration, and it corrects the past mistakes and the wrongs, the misdeeds. So I say all of that because I want to break down the different categories of what I've been seeing. And also, I'm noticing a lot of them have shared placements that explain why some African Americans are meant to immigrate, why some will not, and also, again, I think a correction of stolen fortune. So let's begin with the hibiscuses that are predestined to leave America. And it's not even in a sad way, it will be very empowering. Now, I'm not saying it will be easy because there's obviously financial aspects of it, there's languages, there's cultures and etc. But it's a blessing, and I'll explain why. So when we look at these people's chart, you always see the same 3 placements. So number 1, Rahu, which is essentially, it's the divine plan being unveiled. It deals with foreigners, and it also talks about provoking things so radical change can occur. It's in the 4th house, which is your living arrangement. So Rahu shows that, oh, you'll live in a foreign country, right? Now, this is usually aspected by Saturn in the 9th house. So Saturn deals with the destroyer of past devils, the destruction of false ideals, and it also talks about wealth accumulation, right? And it's also like karmic justice and elements of legacy. And then the next thing is their 12th house placements. Their 12th house placements always have a range of like the most beautiful planets in the most, like we have 108 star signs, but out of those 108 star signs, really favorable ones that show happiness and peace and prosperity abroad. Sorry, this is going to be a little bit of a surface level reading just because our traditions are heavily gate kept, and the only time that we extend them out is to literally help other groups who are oppressed and marginalized. But hear me out. The reason you're predestined to move abroad, when we look at all the different charts, your ancestral curses, blessings, etc., is the following. Number 1, the truth is many of your ancestors come from different parts of the world. Their happiness and prosperity is going to be found back in those places, right? And also, many of you were sold out by different communities within kind of your own spaces. There's a divine retribution coming. Pay attention to how certain communities who brag about they never were enslaved or they were the last to be enslaved, there's a direct correlation between their countries going through natural disasters and a decimation of economies, and slowly and surely those people who were let down, wealth, prosperity is coming back into their hands, right? The other thing is, there's this idea that you are so talented and skilled. And the thing is, a lot of these people actually came from like activists, freedom fighters, or, you know, people within their communities who heavily were about the cause, right? You are not going to suffer because of the sellouts in your own community deciding to key with the fucking enslavers and oppressors and the different forms they go for. Your ancestral blessing is to remove you from that mark, take you elsewhere so you properly get the happiness, ownership, all of that you deserve. There's so much more, but basically when you look at it, these people have never let down their causes. They have simply been a victim of empire. They've never really assimilated. And just when you get it all together, bada boom, bada bing, right? And also, I don't know how much I can reveal, but do you remember I said America's the first domino to fall and other empires go after that? Your enslavement is not just at the hands of the American empire. Best believe when I say the land never forgets. The deities and spirits are quite literally in the fucking ground. There's certain magic happening that we're past reparations, we're at retribution and cosmic rebalancing of the scales. So again, my honeys, get out there. Now let's talk about the people who are predestined not to leave, because there's two specific groups. Number one, I'm just going to be straight up honest about it. All you bird brains that assimilated, that, internalized the anti-blackness, that have sold out your people, that look down on your people, all of that malarkey, all the flavors it comes in, you do not get to escape that. It doesn't matter if you try and move abroad, they're going to bring your ass back home. I have loads of videos where I explain Americans are going to be banned from traveling. Bare of them who try to escape are going to come back. You are in that pool. Because also, don't just think about it that, oh, I did bad and my karma's coming back. No, we believe in ancestors. Many of you are like your ancestors who would have sold out your own people. So there's that. Number two, you may come from good people, but you have forgotten their suffering and their causes. They're going to haunt you. Like, I'm not being funny. Like, if you're in spirituality in A, B, and C, how the fuck you don't know how about ancestors and spirits work? Spirituality is a spirit revolution. Anyone who portrays a revolution, they can never have peace in spirituality. That's why, there's so much I could say, but I've got to keep it quiet. But I'm just saying cause and effect. And the final group, which let me know if you want to have a separate conversation about. Many of you are predestined to become the leaders of the new America. We have a full-on prophecy about how it goes out. And I've got to say, everything is going deliciously on time. That is also your home. Your ancestors made pact with the indigenous and native people. In the end, what we see is, justice come back to the indigenous and the enslaved. And also, pay attention, when they go broke, what do you guys call it? The Black Wall Street? You're going to see a return of a lot of that kind of stuff. Bye.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such an extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.